All right, so let's look at this one. It is not a static report. It is an interactive dashboard. So we can see that total number of tweets collected in our database. We can see the locations where those tweets are coming from. We can also even switch to different places and see the tweets in different cities. We can also look at these hidden connections between users and also the hashtags. If you want to switch to a different hashtag, and you can see that's very easy to identify that which users are interested in those topics. So in today's video, we're going to cover 3 things. First, we'll learn the basics of Cypher, the query language that powers Graph Database. We will also introduce how to use Generative AI help us write the queries for us. And finally, we'll combine those skills to build this exact dashboard using plain English to comment the database. All right, so in our previous tutorials, we talked about how to use Python to organize tweets and also insert tweets into a free Neo4j database. So specifically, we organize the tweets into this structure. So a user can post a single tweet or multiple tweets, and each tweet can be located into a place. Those tweets also contain their exact coordinates, and the tweet may contain multiple hashtags. In Neo4j, so once we have those data that collected, and we can go to the query window, and this is where we can use the Cypher query language to explore the data. In Cypher, each node is defined in this parentheses where we have the node label, so for example, the user, and also we can give it an alias, which is a short name that refers to the users in the following queries. Here, I selected a single user. And now you can see we're using this match function, which in SQL is more like the select function. And we select all the users, which in this parentheses, and we use n as alias, and return all the users. And here we have the limit. We're going to just return the top 25 users. And if you go to the table view, and you can see we have those 5 users in our database. And if you open each single user, we can see their properties. So for example, the ID, the number of followers, followings, the Twitter account, and etc. So if you want to access those values, and what you can do is you can just, instead of return the entire node, you can use dot notation and also to retrieve those values. So for example, let's retrieve those followings. And now if we rerun this query, okay, so here we can see those followings. We can also combine the query with the where clause. So we want to use this where clause. The number of the followings is greater than 1000. And let's try to run this. Okay, so now you can see that we just filled out one user. Okay, so that's how we can query a single user. And we know that in the graph database, so the nodes are connected with each other, and that is called relationship. In Cypher, so the nodes are represented in this parentheses, and the relationships is represented in this square bracket. And they also have the labels. So in this case, the relationship between the user and the tweet is called posted. All right, so let's see one example. So here, let's say we're going to look at the posted relationship. Here you can see we're going to use a match query. And here the pattern is that for any node that has a posted connection to another node, and also pay attention to this direction, so that from the left node to the right node. So if we find out those patterns, and we're going to pass that patterns to this p variable that is called pass in Cypher, and then we can return those patterns. And also you can see we also keep limit. So here we can find out we have one user, and that posted multiple tweets. So if you go to the table view, you can see Gina posted multiple tweets, and that is a pattern that we identified. And we can also look at the username. So for example, we want to see the username, and we want to see for the tweets, we want to just check the tweet text. Okay, and we can also do that. We see the username and also tweet text. We can also include the where clause. So for example, in our previous queries, we see that we want to find out users where the number of followings is greater than 1000, and we can also use the where clause. And this time we should use u.followings because now we gave the alias as u, not n. And now we're going to see that the users where they have more than 1000 followers and also the tweets that they posted. Okay, so let's run this query. The real power of the graph database is that, so actually we can have multiple connections among multiple nodes. So for example, if we want to find out users that post a specific hashtag, and then we can use these relationships. So where user posts a tweet, and the tweet contains a specific hashtag. So we can include multiple relationships and also multiple nodes in our queries. So let's try to find out a user that sent out the tweets with hashtags of AI. And for these specific queries, we're not going to write query by ourselves. And Neo4j has this great tool that's called Generate Query with AI. So let's click this button. And now what we need to do is that we can just ask our questions in natural language. So for example, find the users who posted tweets contain hashtag of AI. Okay, so that's a natural language. And we send out this prompt to AI. And now what we have is that here we have the Cypher query. So here we can see we're going to use this relationship where user posted to tweet and the tweet tagged with a hashtag. And here the where clause is that the hashtag name contains AI, and just to make sure that it includes the both lowercase and also uppercase AI. So we make the names to be lowercase and I'll query that against this lowercase AI, and then we return all the usernames. So let's run this query, and now we can see all the users that contains posted the tweets that contain the hashtag of AI. All right, so those are the basics of the Cypher query. Now let's go to the dashboard and let's create a dashboard to visualize our data. So this is a dashboard that I showed earlier, and with a free instance, you can create 3 dashboards. And right now I already created 1, so I can create 2 more dashboards. So if I go ahead and click create, you can see here we have 2 options, and we're going to choose this one, create with AI. And here you can just tell AI that what do you want. So I want to explore the locations of tweets, popular hashtags, and also the date when tweets are posted. All right, so that is my prompt. I just hit create, and then we just wait for a few seconds, and then we'll have the dashboard. Now we have this dashboard. Even you provided the same prompt, so sometimes AI may generate a slightly different visualizations. In this case, we can see we have 2 maps. One shows the locations of those individual tweets, because each single tweet has a unique pair of the coordinates. Those are the cities where those tweets are coming from. So here we have those 2 maps. At the bottom, we have this bar chart, shows the number of tweets that contains different hashtags. And also here we can see the monthly tweets, the trend. So I believe those are tweets that posted in different months. And here we have this network showing the places, hashtags, and tweets relationships. And here we have this pie chart that's showing the number of tweets in different hashtags. We have the total number of tweets, which is 100, and the total number of users, which is 5. And at the bottom, AI also gave us a table that allow us to read those tweet content when the tweets are being created, number of likes, and also favorites. And we can sort those values. Okay, so that's very nice. And what we can do is that we can manually adjust each individual charts. We can add new charts. So in Neo4j, each chart is called a card. So you can either create a new card or you can modify those existing cards. What I'm going to do first is that I'm going to remove this map because I just want to show the locations of the tweets and I don't want to show the locations of the places. That's kind of redundant. So I just click delete. Okay. And also I don't want the pie chart because pie chart normally is not recommended. I also don't want you to show the total number of users. So I remove that as well. And I can just simply drag the other card in different locations. So for example, here, I just drag the total number of tweets at here, or for this bar chart, I can go to edit, where you can look at the queries that to retrieve those data. If you want to change the queries, you can go to natural language and ask AI to redo it, or you can change a different chart type. And also for each individual chart, you can also go to settings, and also here you have more options. So for example, for this bar chart, I want that to be horizontal. Okay, and so that's the bar chart. So I'm going to save that bar chart. And now let's look at this line chart. So let's go to edit. And here you can see that we're showing the number of tweets per month and also ordered by month. So here I want to see that I want to show the number of tweets per day of the week. Okay, so let's regenerate the query. And now you can see here we have the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and also Thursday, and also Sunday. So I'm going to save this chart. And now I'm going to just drag this table a bit wider. And also in this queries, so I want to show the tweet text, likes, retweets, and places. Okay, so let's just regenerate. All right, so now we have the tweets that has likes, retweet, and also places. And by the way, if you want to change the chart type, you can just go ahead and also, for example, if you want like a bar chart instead of the tables, you can also do that. Okay, so let's go back to the table, and now I'm going to save it. So now let's go back to the maps, and this map and also this graph. I want to add filters. So for example, for this map, I want the user be able to select different places, and just like I showed earlier. So if I choose a place, and we're going to focus on that city. And also for this graph, so I want also be able to select different hashtags. So when I choose hashtag, and all the connected tweets and also places will be displayed. So let's do that. So let's add filters. So my first filter will be the place filter. So that is select place. And here I'm going to use the node properties, and I'm going to use place label where it has a place name. Okay, so here you can see we have 5 city names actually. So we are going to save that filter, which actually is also a parameter. So that's a new parameter that is called place name. So let's also go ahead and copy that, and I'm going to save it. Okay, so we added the filter, and let's just move this filter, and I'm going to make it shorter. So now if we switch to different place, and the map is not changing, and that is because the queries simply showing all the tweets. So we need to incorporate this filter in our query. So here we are still using natural language. So the tweets based on the place where the name is this parameter. And also we tell the AI if this one is null value, return all tweets. All right, so let's go ahead and generate that query. Now it looks like it worked. So if we go to the Cypher code, we can see now we are filtering the tweets based on the location information. So we say tweet is located in that place, and also where place equals the place name. If the place name is null, and we're going to return all the tweets. All right, so that's pretty nice, and let's save it. So now let's try to select different places. So here I'm going to select New York, and now we can see all the tweets in New York. And if I choose Japan, Tokyo, and all the tweets in Tokyo. And now we're going to do the same thing for the hashtag. So here, let's add our second hashtag. We're going to still use the node properties, and we're going to use hashtag and also name. And also this one, the filter, we just call it select the hashtag. Let's also copy the parameter name, which is called hashtag name. Remember that we also have the $sign indicate that is a parameter. Let's save it. And I think the new filter is still at the bottom. So let's just drag it to the top and also make it shorter. All right, so now it's the same thing. So if you select different hashtags, a graph will not change. We need to tell AI that to incorporate the hashtag parameter. So let's go to edit. So that's the current structure of this graph. So here we want to see that return tweets, hashtags, and users based on the hashtag name calls this parameter. And also if this one is null, return all tweets, hashtags, and users. to give my tables. Hopefully AI is able to understand. So let's go ahead and also generate. So we do have the network. So let's look at the data. So you can see here, we have the tweets tagged with hashtags, and also we have separate users. And also you can see here, we did filter the network based on hashtag name. Let's also modify that. So, and their relationships. Okay, just rewrite our prompt and make sure that they retain the connections as well. Okay, so here we have those connections. So here we have user, send out tweets, and also connect to those hashtags. If we go to the Cypher query, you can see now we include those two connections. All right, so that's very nice, and we save it. So now let's try to play it. So let's say we don't collect any hashtags, and now we have this entire graph. If we do collect one hashtag, for example, Python, and now we have this Python hashtag, and we also have other tweets that connect with this hashtag. And just like that, so we have gone from raw code to a fully functional dashboard. So think about what we just accomplished. We didn't have to memorize every single Cypher comments. Instead, we focused on the logic. We understood the structure of the nodes and the relationships. We asked AI to find out connections on map locations, and it handled the syntax for us. So that is the power of the modern data stack. We don't just write code anymore. We architecture the solution, and AI help us build it. So because we understand the fundamentals, we could guide the AI to get exactly the result that we needed.